We talked about one of our hosts, but what about the other one? Today, we're talking about Jordan. What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3VO, where we are all on the same team. I'm one of your hosts, Brenden.
And I'm the other one, Jordan.
And if you're new here, we're just two big old nerds that really love to share our love of video games. So if you are also a lover of video games, then you're in the right spot. Welcome. We're happy to have you. Today, we are going to be continuing what Jordan started last week. He interviewed me, and today I'll be interviewing him. So, you ready?
Oh, we're just going to jump into
Well, no. But like, I just kind of wanted to check in. Like, how are you ready? Are you ready for your interview?
I was feeling really good coming in. I got a little nervous once I actually came into the apartment.
Oh, okay.
So it's because I remember what I asked, and I was like, oh, what if?
Why would you be nervous?
Going to turn some of that around on me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And there's just there's a general feeling of like being in the hot seat, kind of.
Yes. Kind of. Well, before we dive into the interview, what have you been up to, sir?
Not much. Jump back into playing Final Fantasy X again. Okay. So I'm back on that road, which has been very, very fun. It's the only like video gamey thing I've really been doing. It's been nice and busy lately, which has been very good.
In like what aspects?
Just a lot of stuff for work. I'm prepping for going to Minnesota here soon. I'm going out of town a little bit. And just like work in general, working on this thing, just like all of this in general, kind of just takes some time. And then, just life as it is.
I hear you. I also have been very busy at work.
Oh, yeah?
Just come home and my brain is mush. Yeah, just that kind of work. Video games recently, I haven't been playing a whole lot.
Really?
To be honest, yeah.
It had been a while. I picked up Final Fantasy like this week again. So it's been a bit since I've actually played anything, too.
I'm still trying to make my way through Myst, that old like throwback game.
Oh, right. That's right.
Yeah.
I can't say anything. The game I'm playing is like 15, 20 years old. So.
Well, I mean, we love the classics here.
One of these days we have to play something that's like somewhat fresh on the market.
Kind of new. Whenever you're ready to play Immortals Phoenix Rising, let's do that. Because that is a solid game.
Gotcha. Okay. And then step 2 will be playing video games that people have heard of.
Wow.
You said yourself the first time you brought it up that not a lot of people know about it.
Did I?
I feel like we talked about it like that.
I don't know. It seems like a popular game.
Oh, really?
It's an Ubisoft.
Oh, never mind. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
It's
the perfect mentality to go into an interview for.
It's somewhat popular. It's supported right now on like the Ubisoft store. You can get like tokens and stuff for it. So like it's not like a throwaway game,
right?
I would say.
I have that thing where it's just like if I haven't heard of it, then I just assume
then the world hasn't heard of it.
Doesn't know what it is.
I understand that. We'll fade out on that.
That works. I like it.
Cool. All right. Find neutrality. All right, well, with all of that out of the way, it is finally time to get to Jordan's interview. So just like last week, Jordan has not seen these questions. They're not too personal. It's just meant to kind of get to know him, have some fun. Are you ready?
I'm excited and a little scared.
No, don't be scared. It's going to be fun. I feel responsible because I felt like I had such a good interview. I felt like very comfortable and not like put on blast at all. So I'm going to be doing like the same for you.
Okay, cool.
Like I felt
awesome.
I felt taken care of. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Good.
So just start us off. Listeners of the show and then people who probably know you in real life know that Mass Effect is one of like your all-time favorite video game series.
Love that game.
And in fact, I think you've told me before that pretty much once a year you complete a playthrough of all 3 games. That is some dedication.
Yeah.
My question though is like what keeps the series from getting boring for you?
Ooh, that's a great question off the bat. I don't fully know. I get locked. It's a personal thing that I just get locked into certain narratives and certain things. Like I'm definitely the person who, with a show or a movie, I watch it or listen to something or play it to the point of exhaustion. Like I've been playing Mass Effect pretty much since it came out, and I just got to a place with the Legendary Edition coming out, oddly enough, to where I was just like, I just did this. I don't want to pick this back up again.
I know. Yeah, we did just play through all 3 of them.
Yeah, but it's just, I think it's just, the world building is so good. It's just such a fascinating idea, and just, I mean, the biggest one that we talked about a bit when we covered the games is that I think what it is, it's the emotional connection and everything in the game.
Yeah.
Like, even with someone like Commander Shepard, I feel invested in creating a journey for him and taking him down certain roads that I think are better for him. And the way I interact with people is very important in that world too. Like talking to Garrus and Tali and all of them, just it feels the importance of the weight of everything in that game really kind of resonates and feels real to me, if that makes sense.
So it feels just as important to you to maintain those relationships and do all of those important things every time you play.
Pretty much, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, really cool. So then follow-up question. You've played these games so many times. Why have you not been able to do a Renegade playthrough?
Oh, Jesus.
Like, what has prevented you from doing it? Even just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
You know?
It's, I mean, it ties back into the first question of just like the emotional connection to things. I'm just like, I have a similar issue with certain shows like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where it's like, even if I understand that this is pure fiction, these aren't real people, with something like that, I can't watch it like some people do, because I'm just like, these are horrible people.
It's like there's a limit.
There's a limit. I'm just like, these are awful people. And it's the same thing with Mass Effect, but on the opposite end, obviously, where I'm just like, I don't, like, Garrus is a fucking bro. Like, I don't want to be a dick to him.
That's fair.
Or, you know what I mean? I don't want to be an asshole to Tali. Like, or even people like Grunt or Rex who would kind of understand. I'm just like, oh, I don't want to be mean to those guys either, you know? Right. It's just like, it physically, I've done a Renegade run for 1 and 2 before,
okay.
Going way, way, way back. And even back then, like, that felt awful. I hated it. I hated doing it, yeah.
All right. So tell us, Jordan, where does the nickname Jordy Poo come from?
I fucking knew this was coming. It is a bit of a journey. Just a little bit of a journey. So growing up as a kid, my nickname was Jordy.
Okay.
So just like my family would always call me that, and I think it was my brother or somebody who said something about like, oh well, no, like Jordan's the boy name and Jordy is what they call girls. So like created some inner toxic masculinity up the fucking game.
Sounds like an older brother thing.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
As the oldest brother can confirm.
You do shit like that too?
Not like that.
Not quite like that. Yeah. Gotcha. And then just, I hated it from when I was a kid from then on. And then like 13, 14, like 9th grade or 10th grade, it slipped to my group of friends that's what my family called me. So of course they all started doing it because I fucking hated it. And then there was a night at my best friend since I was in the 9th grade, David's place. I was with him and his family, and he was teasing me about the nickname Jordy and da-da-da-da. And one of his aunts, I can't remember her name, even though she was a really cool person, just turned around and goes, I don't see him as a Jordy. And I was just like, thank you. Finally somebody gets it. She goes, we're like a Jordy Poo.
That's amazing.
Because I think she said that because I reminded her of like a Pooh Bear, like a Winnie the Pooh kind of like person.
That's so much better.
Yeah. So she gave me that, and then for like another year of just Jordy Poo getting around, I fucking hated it then too. But then I don't remember what it was. Probably because a girl probably said it was cute or something like that, or someone attractive just said that they thought it was a cute nickname. I suddenly became okay with it. And then I got to the crafting group, and then it just our college that we both used to go to got to that friend group, and now it's weird. It's circled back around now to where some of our friends have gone from calling me Jordy Poo that now they also just call me Jordy.
Yeah.
So it's just gone completely full circle to now I'm back to fucking square one. But it's okay because now I love them.
Well, good. I'm glad that you like it. I was worried there for a second. I was like, uh-oh, we're gonna find out that you hate this.
No, I love both. No, I love both. Good. Jordy and Jordy Poo are both totally fine.
Excellent. Love that. I didn't know that. That's really cool to know. So as we discussed in the last interview, we've worked on a number of theatrical projects together, some of which were even directed by yourself. What was your favorite theatrical project to be a part of in any capacity?
Ooh, just period in general.
Yeah, just in like any role, anything that you did, what was it and why?
Oh, God. Everything from beginning to end through Wonderland, the adaptation of Alice in Wonderland was really good. I mean, Rent was definitely Also something really, really special, but just we were all still getting to know each other during Rent when our like group had already gotten really, really close during Through Wonderland. So that that felt like getting the gang back together again and like working on something else that was really big and special. So probably Through Wonderland at this point.
And who did you play in Through Wonderland?
Oh, well, let's see. So the main role was I was the King of Hearts. I was also a piece of the caterpillar's body. And then depending on which run it was, I wasn't the stop sign on that one. I was some random object falling through the rabbit hole, and then the last time I was an umbrella for that scene as well. So the King, Caterpillar, Umbrella.
And then inanimate objects. Excellent. Love
King
that.
with my tiny little cape and my little crown.
There was the cutest little crown ever.
It was glorious. It was the fucking best.
All right. So, getting back to video games, I don't really believe in, like, guilty pleasures. I think if you enjoy something, you should just enjoy it, and you shouldn't have to feel guilty about it. But I'm using that phrase so that you understand.
Gotcha.
What is a video game that you would consider, like, a guilty pleasure?
Ooh, good one. That's a really, really good one. What is a guilty pleasure video game? I'm playing one of the zombie war games right now, which it's not a mod, but it's kind of adapted from the Sniper Elite games. And it's literally just set in an alternate history of World War II in which that Hitler uses zombies. And I'm just running around with a sniper rifle shooting zombies in the head. And it's just like, there's a storyline to it, but you don't fucking pay attention to it. And it's ridiculous on purpose. So probably something like that. Probably something in which that I'm just turning on so I could just shut off my brain for a couple hours and just goof around but still feel like I'm interacting with something like that. So yeah, probably like one of the zombie war games.
Gotcha.
Or like a Just Cause. Just Cause is also a great game just to shut off your brain and just goof around.
All right. Something that our listeners might not know about, or even, some people who know you in real life, is that you're a bit of an anime fan. A bit of an anime fan.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your favorite anime, like what it is and why you like it?
What is my favorite anime? This is always tough for me because with anything for favorites, I have categories too. It's like, well, you talk about favorite anime, it's like it's my favorite comedy anime or like my favorite action anime. I've maintained for a long time that I think, and it's a pretty typical answer for most people, and I am a casual anime fan, but Cowboy Bebop is probably still one of the best animes that I think has ever been done.
Okay.
Like every 5 or 6 years you hear about people who watch it for the first time and they're still like, holy shit, when was this made? Definitely one of the top ones, but and one I've watched multiple times, but other than that, should I really enjoy stuff like Yuri on Ice?
Oh, yes.
It's so pretty. And it's just such a sweet story. And just really anything with characters that I can relate to and I feel any kind of sympathy or empathy for, that's what's going to get me involved in it. So,
I love that.
that. So either Yuri on Ice or Cowboy Bebop, kind of hitting both ends of the spectrum.
It's very different animes. Well, thank you. Yeah, you gave us a range.
Yeah.
All right, so that kind of classic interview question, if you could resurrect anyone from history or anybody who's currently alive and sit down with them and have a drink or spend an evening with them or have a dinner with or whatever. That question, but video game character. If you could pull a video game character out of the game and sit down and spend an evening with them over drinks, who would it be?
Oh God, that's a really, really good question. If I could pull anybody from a video game and just sit down and talk to them for an evening, that's tough. There's so many, and I'm also trying not to just answer Mass Effect again.
If that's the answer, that's the answer.
It'd either be that or Dead Space, probably, just because actually Isaac from Dead Space, the main character from Dead Space, I feel like I've had a fascination with wanting to just sit in on therapy sessions. Of either video game characters or people through history, just to kind of see what they would say in a conversation like that. And I think that considering all the trauma that Isaac's been through, I think he'd have an interesting story to kind of tell in a safe environment where he could just talk freely about stuff.
Cool.
So him or Tally. I would just love to hang out with Tally.
Yeah.
That's a purely selfish one. I just want to hang out with Tally. She just seems super fun.
That is a perfectly legitimate answer.
Right?
And kind of the one I thought you might say.
Probably, yeah. More than likely it's Tally. But if for wanting to like dive deep on something, Tally's purely selfish. If wanting to like to learn something, it'd be Isaac from Dead Space.
There you go. Okay, cool. So on that note, at this fictitious dinner, what drink are you ordering from the bar?
If it's something like that and it's for like a casual chat, I'll typically go for an old fashioned. That's my cocktail of choice normally. It's simple, it's tasty. You could have one or two and just sit there and sip on it for like an hour and you're good to go for a meal or something like that. So yeah, definitely an old fashioned.
Nice. So we had previously talked about your theatrical career, which has been very extensive. You've done pretty much anything that you can think of. You've acted, you've danced, directed, sang, and more recently you've been getting into writing. So the question here is, if you could write and produce a video game of your own design, what does that project look like?
Making my own video game?
Yeah.
That's wow. Okay,
and it can be broad strokes. Like I'm not.
Yeah. You know. No, I gotcha. It would probably be something. Just because I enjoy the writing of it so much, it'd be something in the vein of something like a BioShock type game.
Okay.
Just like interesting world setting that's kind of real world, but adjacent, because I like that structure of sort of putting people in a familiar setting but making them feel like they're not in their own like home anymore, kind of, if that makes sense, and doing a bigger picture like metaphor sort of like symbology thing, because again I feel like that video games are highly underutilized in that sense, and when you see them take it and to give a message or to say something within the medium, I think it's always, not always, but for the most part, when it's done well, it's always more effective than film or TV at a certain point. But yeah, something like that. I wanted to have a bit of a dark tone to it. I definitely set it in somewhere that's a bit more dark. It'd probably be first person, and it wouldn't be a silent protagonist. And it'd be a combination of like a shooter RPG in that vein too. So like a combination of something like that. Okay. So yeah, basically something BioShock adjacent. Okay. To give a much more condensed answer to that question.
Got it. No. I like it. That was perfect. It's like an FPS of some kind.
Right.
Non-silent protagonist.
No. I feel like that time is either dead and gone at this point, or if you're going to use it, it needs to be for something like with a point for something like with why he was a quiet protagonist in BioShock, or something like Doom, where you're carrying on a tradition of sorts.
I see. Okay, great answer.
Thank you.
So kind of similar to that, say maybe you're not like creating the game or like being like the artistic director or what have you. If you could be part of a development team, what role would you want to have in the development?
In like the development of the game, so not necessarily
kind of like anywhere, it could be on the development team, like what we just talked about, or like maybe voice acting, or
I'd love to be an actor for whether it's voice acting or if it's like something like The Last of Us where it's all done like motion capture with like mics on people, something like that. Either way, voice acting fascinates me, especially for video games. Just seems like such a different challenge, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, if I'm gonna do something that's not like on the creative director side or something like that, I'd want to be an actor in it for sure.
Excellent. What kind of character would you want to play?
I'm a very big fan, and this speaks to my personality. I'm a very big fan of sort of like the giant brute with the heart of gold. Yeah. So just like someone big and burly, but like, man, do they mean well? Someone like that.
Gotcha. Excellent. All right. So getting away from that, what was more important to you? Getting to play Roger in Rent, or finally getting to direct Closer?
I mean, slightly. That one's a little bit complex because it's Closer, but here's why.
I thought you were going to be like hands down Closer. Absolutely.
I mean, it is Closer, question. But it's for a number of reasons. One, I'm in love with that play. It's one of my favorites, and I hounded our director at the college we went to for literal years to let me direct the damn thing. And then finally got it, thankfully. But also, it's like I have a tough time counting Roger at a certain point.
What do you mean?
Because it was like we did get a performance and that was very, very cool. But like I was an understudy for Roger.
Oh, I see.
Like first and foremost, and I I loved doing it, and also like, the guy turned out to suck anyway. I also didn't get like a mark that I really, really wanted to be in the show with.
Shade.
Yeah, well, we don't have to go into detail, but turns out that guy was a twat. So,
well, I was not that mark.
Not him. No. I would have loved to have had him as a mark.
There was an understudy mark.
There was another understudy mark who was.
The understudies all got a performance where they all performed together.
Yeah. Which was lovely and sweet, but just, so for that reason, also just, my love for Closer runs. Since I was 18, I picked it up for the first time and read it. I didn't watch the movie and just absorbed everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So, Jordan, lots of video game characters have stats, such as health, mana, defense, attack, things like that. Can you give us a breakdown of your stats? I'll make this a little easier for you. Like, on a scale of, like, 1 to 10, and you can, like, pick what stats you have, like, your choice.
Got it. Just going the generic stuff, I think we'd all assume strength is higher. Strength is probably like a 7.5.
Yeah.
Maybe an 8.
Yeah, 8.
If we're talking like that. Intelligence isn't low. I'm not like, it's, I would say, my intelligence and my wisdom are like probably average, like 4.5 to give myself something like that.
Okay.
That's just, but I feel like, and I feel like most people wouldn't assume this, I feel like charisma is actually higher than you would think. Because I feel like I'm actually genuinely fun to like talk to and interact with at times. One thing I have confidence about is like, I'm not a bad time to talk to.
How about Constitution?
Ooh, low. Constitution's low.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like just the way I kind of have gone through life, I don't.
And then we're missing one. Dexterity.
No, also low. Dexterity's super low. You kidding me?
Okay, so you have high strength and charisma.
Yes.
So you could be like a very charismatic like warrior.
Sort of. It's almost like I made a D&D character that's kind of like that.
Well, I'm so glad that you brought it up because that leads me to my next question. So we are currently playing a D&D campaign, and we're currently going through the module The Curse of Strahd.
A cheese wheel for life. That's our party name.
That's our party name with the cheese wheel. So could you tell us a little bit about your character for that campaign, Gulo?
Oh, I'd love to. I love this guy so much. He is a dragonborn barbarian who breathes a giant cone of fire when he feels so pressured to. And he's like, I just looked at his stats. He's like 6'2", just shy of like 300 pounds, blood red scales running around, a rim of horns, sort of like Darth Maul going along the top. He's got a recent development in our story that I brought in last time is that he's got a bunch of scars on his left hand right here because that's what he bites down on to get himself to rage, which isn't. I just threw it in for flavor for the campaign because I thought it was a cool detail. I was like, that's fun. I like that. And he's just a bit of a mercenary nomad. I think would be the best way. He doesn't have. Well, right now he's definitely connected to the party, but he doesn't really have like allegiances to anything or anyone because he has family history issues with his dragonborn clans. Clan, not clans. Sorry.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that's my D&D guy.
What made you want to play like that particular character?
One, barbarians are definitely a simpler class to sort of get a handle on at the gate because you basically you start especially with dragonborn, you start off. It's like you have an axe, you have fire breath. You can rage. You can rage.
What more do you need?
That's about as complicated as it gets right now. But I'm learning now, once you start adding levels to it and start adding more stuff in, you can actually do a lot of really cool stuff with it. But the curve is a lot easier for me than starting off with like a druid or monk.
Like a spellcaster.
Like a spellcaster. I don't know if I'm ever going to wrap my head around spellcasting. Of just like, some spells require a spell slot, which I don't totally get. Some require you to roll. Some you can just do based on what race you are, and it's just That all seems way too complicated.
I would be happy to sit down with you and try to help you understand.
I would love to try it because I want to play.
Because you want to get into DMing.
I do want to get into DMing, which is definitely something else that scares me. I'm just like, I have to understand all this other shit
too.
Fuck.
So here's the thing. As a little bit of a DM myself, no, you don't.
Good to know.
Yeah. Good to know. Like, you should have a good understanding of, like, kind of how everything works. Right. But you don't have to know, like, everything.
Yeah, I know one of the things that you should feel comfortable to, like, ask your players, like, okay, so how does that work? Because
absolutely.
Makes sense.
And, like, every spellcaster is different. And every race is different. And then...
Yeah, I know. You understand that's part of the stress, right? That's part of the worry. I know. It's all different.
But that's kind of a nice thing about DMing is you kind of get to put that responsibility on like your players.
Makes sense.
You can say, hey, you need to know how your spells work so that I don't have to figure it out for all of you.
Right. Makes sense.
All right. Getting back to video games, I want to go back a little ways.
Okay.
What are some of your first memories surrounding video games?
I'm like 4 or 5 years old. My first house when I was a kid on Pleasant Grove in Calamasa. In my tiny little room with my dad and my brother and me, and we're all taking turns either playing Duck Hunt or the original Super Mario's. Yeah, those are my early days experience, and I was so bad at Duck Hunt that my dad let me cheat by just taking the gun right up to the TV screen and just tracking the birds. Because I couldn't figure out how to aim that damn thing. So he was just like,
is that what Duck Hunt was?
Oh, yeah. The original Duck Hunt, the original Nintendo, you had like the little gun thing that you would plug in and sit there and just like, try to track it.
You'd shoot it at the screen?
Yeah. What? It was like the most basic like way to like track and censor it. I don't know how it worked,
crazy.
But yeah.
Well, that must have been mind-blowing at the time.
Oh, it was ridiculous. We just assumed magic.
Oh,
we were just like, clearly, like, what else would this possibly fucking be?
That's really cool. Playing with your family, that's really cool. I also have like very early memories of like playing like with my mom and my brothers and my dad and doing all sorts of stuff. Even older, like we would play like Gauntlet. Do you remember that game?
Oh, I know Gauntlet. Oh yeah. Wow.
Classic. Oh yeah. So now, what do video games mean to you, like as an adult?
It is. I mean, it means the same thing as like TV or movie or books or comics do, because it's all kinds of stuff to me. Because it's like going back to what we talked about earlier. It's like I could throw on zombie war game and just sit there, shut my brain off for a couple hours, and just like enjoy just goofing off and just doing something dumb. Same way I would put on like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back or something like that and just watch 2 hours of a dumb movie that I love, you know. Or throw in Mass Effect or Final Fantasy or something and really get something that like resonates on an emotional level. So it's, I don't know, it's, I guess like a hobby that I'm very passionate about would be a simpler way to put it. It's just like, it's something that I really, really enjoy. And it just, I don't know what else to say other than just like, it just means a lot.
It means a lot of different things.
A lot of different things,
like,
exactly.
It can be anything that you need it to be.
Yeah.
You know, you can get like a comfort video game or like I'm shutting my brain off for a while game, or I want to feel the feels video game.
Yeah. It's just another amazing art form. Is what it is for me.
Excellent. Love that. All right, so speaking of video games, between the two of us, we've played a lot of different video games. A lot of different video games. But I want to know, is there a game that's like out there, like that's the one that got away, like, or your missed connection video game that you think like, I never played that and I always wanted to?
Ooh, yeah. There's definitely, what would that be? Honestly, the Zelda series as a whole is one that I
couldn't agree more. Next question.
That's you just wanted to hear that. That's all it was.
No, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah. No, it's one that I do that just like, because we've talked about it before. It's just like I went original Nintendo's and then I went Sega and then I got a PlayStation way later and kind of up until I got a GameCube and I literally got a GameCube just for Resident Evil 4. Because that's what it came out on originally. So I didn't even get back into like playing anything else when I got anything like Nintendo related again. And I've always had something Nintendo related as a console since then, but I've never. It's always either been for someone else in my family or for the wife or something like that who has stuff that she wants to play on it. So that's definitely one that I want to get back into because it seems like everyone who likes Zelda really, really likes Zelda. And it seems like a cool fandom to kind of be involved in.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty
Yeah. Because it's like, it's the right level, and I mean this in a good way, it's the right level of like pretension in a fandom for me. It's like the pretension's there, but it's there because of how much you love it. You know what I mean? And
let it slide.
Yeah, and it's like, well, it's there because of a love and like a protective nature to it, which I really, really appreciate.
Absolutely, yeah. We definitely care a whole awful lot. So something that is also really important to you is film. Mm-hmm. And you've worked on a number of projects that are related to film over the years, some that we've worked on together. Yeah. So related to that, I want to know, what is your all-time favorite movie?
All-time favorite. Okay, that's, again, another tough one.
I thought it might be.
Yeah. I mean, it's another one that at least once a year I do a rewatch of a couple movies. It's Maltese Falcon, Birdcage, Dogma, and both the Clerks movies.
Those are some very different answers.
I try.
No, I like it.
Yeah. Well, I really intentionally try to make myself have like an eclectic taste. I try to force myself because I don't want to get bogged into a lane of like, well, I like this thing, because I feel like when people kind of get stuck in like, I only watch action movies or big drama movies, you kind of become an asshole no matter what.
I see.
Because you become very focused on the one thing.
I get you.
So I try to, order out my things like that a little bit more. Although, honestly, oh no, it might be that. Shit, sorry, there's too many things going in my head right now. Absolute favorite? Yeah, it'd probably be Dogma, actually.
Okay.
It's one that I've watched literally 100 times, and there's something about that movie that still resonates with me. Probably because I was that Christian kid, questioning his faith right when that movie came to me, thankfully. So it hit me. It hit me at a very, very important time.
That's the one with Salma Hayek and Alan Rickman.
Yes.
Okay.
And Chris Rock, and
I didn't catch it, but
you should watch it. It's such an awesome. It's a brilliant movie. People who don't like Kevin Smith admit that Dogma is a brilliant fucking movie. Just a good flick.
Have to check it out.
Absolutely, please do.
All right.
Surprised I haven't made you watch it yet, honestly.
That's fair. I know that at one point you wanted me to watch The Maltese Falcon, which I also haven't seen.
I want everyone to watch The Maltese Falcon, though. That's just because it's a classic.
That's fair. All right. So you asked me in my interview what book I would like to see turned into a video game, because I'm an avid reader. Mm-hmm. But I want to know what movie you would like to see turned into a video game.
Oh, a movie turned game. That's a good one. I like that, actually. There's been a few, to stall for time. There's been a couple that I've actually got where, in a weird example, there's been ones where it's like the game was actually better than the movie. Like the Wolverine Origins game actually turned out to be a way better video game than it was a fucking movie. But then for one that I like, I think, god damn, that's tough.
I was about to say, hey, we're supposed to be positive spin here. But then I was like, wait, no, that's only about video games. You can trash movies.
I can trash movies.
And we can rag on movies.
Yeah. Also, if you thought the Wolverine Origins movie was good, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. It's an awful movie, and everyone who was in it agrees that it was a terrible fucking movie.
Wow.
So
I didn't catch that one either.
Oh, it was so garbage. It was so bad. That's not one you need to go back and watch. Just don't. Other than that, though, God, that's tough. Because the medium's so different now, too, with games. To where they did that one, and it sucked. Because now I'm trying to think, I'm just like, which ones didn't get a video game, though? I think doing something else, because you have stuff like Dead by Daylight and the Friday the 13th game, I think doing something else with, something horror or, murder mystery-esque, I think if they did... Oh, that would be cool. If they did either a soft reboot or another sequel to the Scream series, but did it as a video game.
Okay.
That would actually be really interesting. Just do it. You do it like Telltale style.
I see.
Where it's you're trying to figure out who this next Ghostface killer is and stuff like that, and trying to figure out how it ties into the movie universe and whatnot. But now you get to use video game tropes as well.
Yeah.
As a part of your thing too.
I would play that. Play that.
So yeah, I'd say you do you do a Scream sequel.
There you go.
As a video game, and have it branch off in a different direction like that.
Love that. Okay, so similarly related to film still, what's a movie that everybody likes that you just like don't get it. You don't understand the hype. You don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah. There's a few. There's been a few in the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to make enemies right now?
I mean, I made an enemy talking shit on a terrible movie a minute ago with the Wolverine Origins film. There's someone out there who's going to be like, ooh, it's my favorite movie. But maybe we won't reach them because we're still...
Because we have 7 dedicated listeners.
Yeah, we have the 7
each and every one of you.
wonderful dedicated listeners. And I appreciate every single one of you. I want you to know that.
Yeah.
A couple years back, it was that movie with Emma Stone, The Favorite.
I'm terrible with movies.
It kind of got it got a decent amount of Oscar buzz to it, and like the acting in it was really, really good. But the movie itself, I was sort of like, okay, like this is fine, I guess, but I don't really see like what all the fucking hype is about personally. So probably most of them are like either weird indies or like the art house films, like a lot of stuff like that. Like Melancholia, I doubt you've heard of it, but like there's a lot of
it.
Oh, okay, yeah, like stuff like Melancholia. I was very just like, well, I know a lot of like artsy fucks just love the shit out of it. I was like, it's weird, but it's still a boring movie. Like I still need to like enjoy what I'm watching at a certain point, you know.
It's weird, but I'm still bored.
Yeah, like I don't need explosions and shit like that, but like, you know, shit needs to happen in your movie still. Interesting things need to happen in this fucking movie.
That's fair. What a hot take now.
Yeah.
All right. So, lastly, you asked me this question as well.
Okay.
I try not to rip you off too much.
No, it's been cool. It's been fun.
But in an effort to develop a safe community within the gaming community, that can be full of all of the isms and the phobias that,
yes,
we do not want to promote and is not welcome on our channel, and not on our show. What message would you send to listeners and people to welcome them to 3DO?
I'd say, first and foremost, and you mentioned this a little bit too, is that we're not going to be perfect in terms of like trying to be inclusive or staying up to date on like current issues and stuff like that. But just know that, especially for me, because I've just getting into my 30s, I've really started just like paying attention to the world at large and just like how screwed up and marginalized things and people are right now, that I'm gonna be listening. So if I do say something screwed up, or if I make a point that is sort of out of bounds or something like that, I'm going to listen if you reach out to me, and especially if you are somebody from a marginalized group, like someone, like if you're a person of color, anybody from the LGBT+ community. I said that wrong, I'm sorry. But anybody from a community that isn't dominated by straight, in my case, looking white guys, just know that I will listen to you. I will take that to heart, and I will reflect on it. I definitely will try to make sure I grow and learn from what it was that I said, and if I need to, apologize for it. It's my first and foremost promise. And you touched on it a little bit too, is that at least for me personally, when we say that the isms, the racism, homophobia, transphobia, all that stuff, that is not welcome here, I mean that seriously. That if that shows up, maybe we'll go like a 3-strikes rule, and then 3 strikes you're out. But at a certain point, if you come in just
like if we see somebody,
if you come in just like spouting hate or something gross for no reason, and if it's obvious that you're not like us who maybe just said something without thinking,
right? There's a difference between like, I said this thing and I didn't know that it was a microaggression or that it could be like taken this way.
Right. Exactly.
I apologize for it. If it's like somebody that's like
comes in and just says something gross shit because they want to be.
I'm not saying 3 strikes. I'm saying
no. Yeah. You just come in saying shit just because you think that being edgy is a personality trait, which it's fucking not. By the way, it's absolutely not. Being a troll on the internet is not. It's just it gets you a serotonin boost for a couple of years, but then guess what? You eventually fucking adjust to it, and you need something more, so you keep doing grosser and grosser things to try to get that back. So it's just making you a terrible fucking person. By the way, like genuinely making you a bad person. So fucking knock it off. Number one. But number two is just like, that's not for our space. I don't want that here. So if I see it, it's out. And if you tell me about it, it's out.
Love it.
So there's that.
No tolerance for intolerance. Is,
pretty much.
Basically what we're saying.
Pretty much. Exactly. Yeah.
You got a little heated there. You good?
A little bit. I'm fine.
All right. Well, that was the interview, Jordan.
Hey!
You made it through.
I did it. Can you tell that I was a little tense?
You kind of got it all out there at the end.
I did. No, that was great.
Cool.
Awesome.
I do have a bonus round.
Yay, I'm excited.
Cool. Let's find some neutrality and we'll transition to the bonus round.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, everybody, that was Jordan's interview, but we do have some time for a bonus round. So just like Jordan did for me, it's lightning round time.
Oh, boy.
Ready?
Okay, so we're doing lightning round on this one?
Well, I mean, you told me it was lightning round.
No, I expressly told you it was not like a lightning round. We just needed, like, you know, roll back the fucking tape. After the first question, after you panicked and just shouted out the word squish, I think, I expressly said, hey, it's not like a lightning round. You can take a little bit of time.
It felt like a lightning round.
Okay.
To me,
well,
that's what I...
It's not my fault you didn't listen.
That's fair. All right. But
if you want this to be a lightning round, we can do it.
No. It's okay. Well, I kind of do, but...
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll just go as fast
I won't take forever.
There we go. All right. Ready?
Yes.
What is your favorite word?
It's a German word. It's Tafellappen.
Love it. What is your least favorite word?
I really... I don't like the word crap too much.
Okay.
It's just
solid answer.
Yeah, it's just such a word.
Yeah. Okay. What is a language that you would like to learn?
Oh God, I'd really love to learn French. Just love the sound of French. That'd be a good one to have.
I agree. D'accord. Describe your perfect day.
I don't have to go to my job.
Good answer.
It's a day off. I get to wake up, do my normal workout routine, and then I'm either spending the day listening to the podcasts with a couple of drinks, playing video games, or I'm surrounded by like close friends and my wife, and you know, hopefully if she's feeling up to it that day, and we're either just sitting around just talking about bullshit, or we're watching or playing something fun.
That's an excellent answer.
Yeah.
What's your favorite curse word?
I mean, it's the standby, but it's fuck. Like, it's always the standby. It's so versatile. And especially, like, I have a stutter. And so that, I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a bit from the movie The King's Speech, which is all about...
Yeah.
And they talked about it in the movie that it's like, you know, for some reason, curse words just flow out. Like, and there's no hesitation when you curse for some reason. Which I learned is like, oh, maybe that's why I curse like a fucking sailor. Because it's true. I've never once in my life stuttered on a curse word. No curse words I've ever stuttered on.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Pokemon?
Oh, God. I haven't really thought about Pokemon in a long time. Oh, no. But it's Squirtle.
Oh, good answer.
Such a fucking cute little dude.
Good answer.
And fucking Final Form is Blastoise, right? It's been a while. Yeah, especially when I was playing the Game Boy games. Blastoise would fuck shit up.
True. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah, right?
Who cares? Number one, it tastes fine. If you don't like it, it's fine. But also just like, guys, fucking people put cashews on pizza.
I like cashews on pizza.
I'm not a fan of it, but it's fine. Like, I don't understand why this became such a big deal. I don't get why it became such a big deal.
I just wanted to know if you liked pineapple on pizza.
I do genuinely like pineapple on pizza.
Oh, yeah.
But in that sense, I don't like cashews on pizza, but also, who cares? It's not my fucking pizza.
I like bell peppers on pizza.
I like some bell peppers sometimes. I gotta be in the mood. Oh, bell peppers with like some Canadian ham?
I just don't really like bell peppers, especially the green ones.
Oh, fair enough. I like bell peppers a lot.
Can I teach you how to play Magic the Gathering?
We've done this before. You showed me the game, and I said, I get why this is fun, but it's too complicated for me. Damn. It is nothing against Magic the Gathering. The problem is with me, and I recognize that. It's a me issue. There's some slightly different ones in here, too, than what I gave you.
Yeah, no, I wrote my own.
I like it, though.
LGBTQI or A?
Oh, B.
I really hoped you were going to be like, L.
That's what it is, right? It's like a pick your own. You can
and finally, what's your favorite part about working on 3VO?
The biggest part, honestly, and this is going to sound cheesy, but it's getting to work with you. I feel like we've always We talked about it. We've talked about it before, but I kind of feel like it's you and I have sort of. It's different now because we've been doing this a lot more, so we hang out a lot more. But I feel like you and I have always kind of had a thing where when we do hang out together, even just the two of us, I always kind of get a feeling of like, oh yeah, we really get along. You know what I mean? Like, and I've never assumed that like we wouldn't, but it's always like I know I get along well with like Susie. I know I get along well with Connor. You know what I mean? Like those are obvious ones to me. But for some reason with you, it's not that like I don't think we'd get along, but it's always kind of like, oh yeah, I have a fucking great time with Brenden and we vibe really, really well.
Aw, well thank you, Jordan. Yeah. I also very much like working with you.
Thank you.
And your check's in the mail. All right, folks, that is all the time that we have for today. So let us know, what did you think of Jordy Poo? Should we keep him around? Do you share some of his interests, his favorite movies, anything like that? Or do you think that his opinions are garbage? Let us know.
Also, if you have any ideas for future discussions on our show, please send us an email at theatricalpodcastteam@gmail.com and give us your ideas. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at theatricalpodcast.
And TikTok.
And TikTok now as well. Same name on TikTok. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe for our show. It really makes a difference. And as always, thank you guys so much for listening and watching.
Bye.